America. We're back today. We're making another scabbard for a different sword. This one being a falchion, according to my friend Jay. So, we have the two halves out of poplar. Again, I want to talk about the insides because no one will ever see them again. This one I did with a round nose bit and the router. There we go. And I don't know why I was using this. I thought it'd be a good idea. It really wasn't. I used it for the entire last scabbard and half of this one. The edge of the blade being kind of curved, it's kind of nice because on the curves, it makes a curve, right? Because you need it shallower. Well, you don't need it, but it can be shallower on the ends than it is in the middle. You want it deep in the middle, shallow on the edge, especially with the long sword I did last time. That is very thick in the middle and skinny on both sides, both edges. But really, when you're making an inside area that you're carving out, it leaves a lot of groove lines of raise points. It's not really flat. So I'm going through with this old chisel and flattening it out, which is why I get a lot of gouge marks, especially here, which is like heartwood. And it was just, you can tell it's kind of dark. That was a lot more work. And I did a lot of nicks. It's very messy. You can kind of see the chisel lines and the old router lines. So I switched over to a box bit, a straight bit, square bit, probably a straight bit, which does a nice, really flat edge, really hollows out the inside, very clean, consistent depth. I still went through with a chisel and I cleaned it up a little bit. I went through sandpaper. Obviously, the point in your head at the end, I definitely did by hand, and some of the other pieces that need some attention. But overall, it was a lot less work and a lot cleaner. And this one, not being double-sided, is just a lot. It's very flat on that back edge. So I needed that cleaner back edge. I really couldn't do that rounded blade edge because it doesn't have a blade for most of that backside. And just in general, there's a lot of really thick, solid parts right near the pommel. Anyway. I did this one a little bit more than 50%, but it actually fits almost the entire blade in it. Sorry. Okay. You can kind of see it actually does a really good job in there, right? Yeah. If I can get it kind of level. Anyway, you get the idea. So, since I had done this one so deep and really clean, when I put it on this one, I had a lot of leeway room, and it was kind of loose. And again, not bad, easy to draw, easy to sheathe, right? But I didn't really like it kind of rattling down in there. So I went to plane it to thickness to really square this up. I decided to plane the top side. I've been planing the back side, because, that's not where I didn't do any work. But to make it a little bit snug, which is risky, right? Because if you mess it up, you go too thin, you're going to recarve out that entire area. And that's a ton of work that I don't want to have to redo. And you can kind of see the thickness of the original here and the thickness of the piece that I planed out. It's very shallow now. I messed up and I got lucky. My test piece here that I sent to the planer to calibrate my thickness is the same test piece I used on the last sword, which means it's already thinner. And so I was just being dumb. I threw back there and the plane barely touched it. So I was like, this is a perfect calibration, just barely make a light pass, right? And I sent this one through first, and it took a lot more out than I was expecting, but it actually worked out perfect. It's really snug there, but it still draws pretty clean. And there's still a little bit of looseness, a little bit of give, but not enough that it's rattling or bouncing around in the scabbard. I really just got lucky on that first pass because it was deeper than I was calibrating, but that shows to show how much room I had in there, and that should be good. So I'm still going to shape the end and then glue it and sand it. And I'm doing the video a little bit earlier than I did last time. I think I did cut. I had already made the cuts on the end. But that is what it looks like. And this is what it will look like. Look how beautiful that is. There we go. Okay, so this is the final hollowing out and planing portion done. You can see the thickness there, and you can kind of see, I gotta glue that up, but the original thickness here for the pieces. But I got it down to 1/2 inch on both sides, down from 3/4. So total, I slimmed that down 1/2 inch, and I could take a lot more out of it, but I like having that much in there just for sturdiness, make it nice and strong. But okay, thanks for tuning in, and tune in next week, and maybe this will be done. Oh yeah. Save Bandit!